Dollar bills. That's a lot of fucking hooks. Can you say fuck on the radio? Sure. Love me some hooks. Okay. Welcome back to the mission, everybody. Dre from Bucktail Flies. We're having a look at these new Ahrex hooks. This is the new Beast Fleye hook designed by Bob Popovics. Comes out in two versions. Pretty exciting stuff. It comes in both a regular version and a long version, giving you two sort of different ways to approach tying on these hooks, long and short. So they're called a Beast Fleye hook, designed by the legend himself, Bob Popovics. What makes them a beast hook? What, as opposed to a normal hook? Well, let's get into it a little bit, shall we? Let's look at the ATOs because, hey, we're all about big flies, big fish, big hooks. And the Beast Fleye is a big pattern, right? So first off, they come in, like I said, a long and a regular version. The SA290 is the regular version, and then there is the SA292, which ended up on the floor. SA292, which is the long version. Taking a look at this hook. It's a beautiful piece of engineering that Bob's obviously put a lot of thought into. Mo and the cats from Ahrex thankfully took all of Bob's ideas and thoughts of 30 odd plus, 40 odd plus years of tying and fishing to put together this hook. Taking a quick look at it straight away, something you notice, this is the short version. Even on the short version, biggest thing that's noticeable about this is this extended shank. Not something we see often on hooks of this sort of size, this sort of strength. What that does is it gives you a little bit more real estate just to fit in all of those hollow ties, or when you're stacking your bucktail or you're tying in hackles or anything like that, you've got a lot more real estate to play with, which enables you to then create a larger pattern. That is a sexy little hook. Yeah, that's money. I know a good thing when I see it. No, now I can see it even better. If we take a look at the long one, this gives you even more real estate. So there hasn't really been any hook like this on the market previously. Everything that was this sort of size, this sort of shape, this sort of length was always a pretty light wire hook. Not really up to standing up to big nasty fish. So there's the two of them next to each other, side by side. That's the ATO size. It's a big ass hook, but gives you all of that extra real estate to fit more ties in or to space your ties out and give yourself, plenty of room to create these big profiles and big flies. It's got this drop bend and drop point, which is great for a number of reasons. Prevents fouling on the cast, being straight all the way to the back here. But once you start tying off the back here with hackles and things like that, as well as if you are tying beasts, your mono extension or anything like that pushes right the way back above the bend of the hook. That's going to minimize, it's not going to prevent, but it's certainly going to minimize fouling of any kind of hackles at the back or any fibers or anything like that if you're tying with synthetics. Hook storage has always been a problem, but I think I might have discovered the perfect solution. I can see clearly now, the Ahrex are gone. They put a nice big eye on it. It's huge. That way you can fish heavy shock tippets, your fluoro and your mono or anything like that, which is a major advantage. The hooks do come barbed, obviously. Most of us fish barbless these days, but the hooks do come barbed, but it's a pretty small little micro barb. Pretty easy to squash if you are that way inclined, which I think most of us are these days. And yeah, I'm pretty excited about these. Great thing is, you're not only going to be able to tie beasts on these, they're not only specifically for beasts. I think any kind of large pattern where you're looking for a big, solid, strong hook, and you're looking for a little bit more real estate to be able to tie in multiple points, this hook is going to be an absolute winner for that as well. Especially when you're looking at tying patterns of that sort of size. What you're also doing is now pushing that hook point that little bit further back. So short striking fish, I know it doesn't look like a hell of a lot on that pattern right there, but what it could actually do is just push that bite point a little bit further back. Short striking fish, You know, you got more choice of grabbing him on the point. Probably not something that this was designed to be thought of, but you know, if you're fishing for toothy critters and things like that, bluefish or shad or elf as we call them here, bluefish as you call them in the States, tailor in Australia, things like that, anything with teeth, a lot of those patterns for those fish are tied pretty far back and actually leaving the front of the hook bare. So again, you're now dealing with a hook that has a whole bunch of real estate. So instead of using a wire leader, you can actually just tie your fly back there and gives yourself essentially a 1/2 inch of pretty solid bite trace right up front. Ahrex has come with their sort of corrosion resistant coatings, which in my experience certainly far superior to anything else out there on the market. I've been tying on Ahrex almost exclusively for the last probably 2 or 3 years, since the SA270 Blue Water Series hooks came out and the SA280 minnow hooks, and it pretty much moved on to tying pretty much everything else that I tie onto these hooks. So I haven't yet fished these. They're brand new. They only just landed in South Africa in the last couple of weeks, so we're just getting a first look at them, but I'm super excited to put these things to the test. And by all accounts, with Bob's input and everything that he's put into these should be an absolute winner. So we're going to get stuck into some tying, show you one of the videos as well. But end of the day, they come in 3 different sizes, 4.0, 6.0 and 8.0, which with Ahrex's sizing compared to most other hooks, you're looking at probably more along the lines of 5.0, 8.0 and 10.0. So they're nice big hooks, chunky hooks. They're going to do some damage to some fish all over the place. Looking forward to using them. That is a sexy little hook. Well, don't know if that would ever be really considered little, but in my world that's fairly little compared to the 8.0. But nice to be able to cover all bases. Actually, that is a fucking dope hook.